It's not really surprising that K-pop stans care more about idol scandals more than their actual careers. Thank God, 2025 is finally here. Can we all agree that 2024 was a hot mess? I'm begging, please let this year make sense for once. K-pop stans, I'm looking at you. Specifically, the ones who can't seem to go 5 minutes without stirring up fan wars and spreading toxicity online just because you're bored. Like, can we not do that this year? How about you learn from your mistakes, grow a brain cell or two, and stop repeating history? Yes, bunnies, I'm absolutely talking to you. Take notes. Anyway, hello rosaries, both old and new. Thanks for coming to my first 2025 video, where I'm back with even more opinions that you probably aren't ready for. Let's kick off this year with some real talk and zero sugarcoating. It's 2025, so don't be a sensitive and fecking snowflake. If you can't handle the heat, maybe this isn't the channel for you. Alright, let's get into it. K-pop would be on a whole new level of iconic if idols weren't suffocated by ridiculous dating restrictions. Imagine the impact if idols could date freely without hiding like fugitives. Their music, their personalities, their entire presence would feel so much more authentic and relatable. These are artists who pour their hearts into their craft, yet they're forced to pretend love isn't a part of their lives? It's not just unfair, it's insulting. Why is it such a scandal for idols to have normal human experiences like everyone else? The idea that they have to maintain this untouchable, perfect image is outdated and exhausting. Let them live. Let them write love songs that hit deeper because they've actually lived that love. Let them sing about heartbreak they've felt firsthand. Imagine the raw emotion, the artistry, the power those songs could hold. That's what fans deserve. It's not just about better music either. It's about basic humanity. Idols deserve happiness, whether that's dating, falling in love, or just not living in constant fear of being caught. The industry is so caught up in controlling their every move that it forgets idols are people, not puppets. Fans wouldn't abandon them for being human. In fact, seeing them live their lives unapologetically would probably make fans love them even more. The K-pop industry needs to grow up. These restrictions are holding everyone back. Let idols date, let them live, and watch K-pop become 10 times more iconic. Can we stop throwing around the term all-rounder like it means something? Why are we hyping someone as an all-rounder when their vocal range is painfully mid, their dance moves are just okay, and their rapping barely scratches passable? Being decent at everything doesn't make you an all-rounder. It makes you average. And there's nothing wrong with being average, but let's not pretend it's a flex. The problem is that fans slap the all-rounder label on idols who are only genuinely good at one thing. They might be a solid vocalist, but their dancing is serviceable at best, and their rap? Forgettable. Or maybe they can hit those choreos hard, but the moment they open their mouth to sing, it's giving karaoke night. Yet somehow, they're praised as the total package? Stop. Being an all-rounder should mean excelling at multiple things, not just scraping by on versatility. Some idols genuinely deserve the title because they crush it in vocals, rap, and dance. But most of these so-called all-rounders? They're getting by on mediocrity with a side of good PR. It's okay to admit your fave isn't perfect at everything. Celebrate their strengths instead of overhyping their weaknesses. Not everyone needs to be an all-rounder. Let's leave that title for the few who actually deserve it and stop cheapening the meaning just to hand out participation trophies. Reality check. All-rounder isn't a free pass to be okay at everything and great at nothing. The K-pop industry is undeniably toxic, but let's not pretend stans aren't out here making it worse. Fans love to drag the industry for its harsh standards and problematic practices, which is fair, but let's address the fact that some of y'all are out here unconsciously feeding the same toxicity you're screaming about. You demand authenticity from idols while holding them to these sky-high, completely unrealistic standards, knowing fully well that idols are human. They're going to make mistakes, they're going to have flaws, and they might not always look like they walked out of a magazine. But no, that's not enough for some of you. Instead, you pick apart their every move, speculate endlessly about their personal lives, and attack them for having the audacity to exist outside the box you put them in. And let's not even get started on the love life obsession. The way fans go full detective mode at the tiniest rumor is terrifying. Then when the truth comes out, some of you act like you're personally betrayed and start hurling insults or, worse, sending threats. How does this help? It doesn't. It's just fueling this same toxic environment you supposedly hate. If we're gonna hold the industry accountable, we also need to check ourselves. Stop shoving impossible standards onto idols. Stop tearing them down for no reason. Maybe then we can actually enjoy the music and let idols thrive without adding to their already overwhelming pressure. Simple, right? Yes, idols can and will use your empathy to get away with their atrocious behavior. Let's not act like every idol is some flawless angel sent to grace the stage. Sometimes they mess up in ways that are downright awful, and when the heat gets too much, suddenly the tears come out. Convenient, right? Cue the shaky voice, the dramatic pauses, and the sob story that's just vague enough to make you feel bad without giving you any actual details. The thing is, because the K-pop industry is so harsh, it's way too easy for some gullible stans to fall for it. Oh, poor them. They're just a victim of the system. Really? Sometimes, sure, but other times it's the oldest trick in the book. People forget there are always three sides to every story: their side, the other side, and the truth. But no, in the land of K-pop, critical thinking is apparently a crime. The moment you dare to question the validity of their story, especially if something feels off, you're instantly labeled as heartless. You're suddenly the villain for not blindly buying into their narrative. Why? Because some fans would rather clutch their pearls and play the role of moral savior than admit their fave might actually be in the wrong. Look, empathy is important, but let's not let it cloud our judgment. If something doesn't add up, it's okay to call it out. Stop letting tears and PR stunts manipulate you into defending behavior you wouldn't tolerate from anyone else. Be smarter than that. Let's talk about fans gaslighting themselves into thinking their bias has a versatile voice when, in reality, they sound the exact same in every single song. Sweetie, that vocal color you keep hyping up? It's monotone with a sprinkle of reverb and maybe some auto-tune to spice it up. But sure, keep telling yourself they're the second coming of Whitney Houston. It's hilarious how some stans will bend over backwards to claim their fave can slay any genre. Ballad, pop, hip-hop, EDM, they insist their bias is a chameleon. But the truth is, every track sounds like a copy-paste of the last one. It's like the producers don't even bother to challenge them vocally because they know the range is as flat as a pancake. And no, throwing in a couple of strained high notes doesn't make them versatile. It just makes me wonder if their throat hurts. Then there are the excuses. Oh, it's just their unique tone. Unique? Really? Because I've heard that same tone across 5 albums and countless OSTs, and it still doesn't hit. Meanwhile, the fans are out here writing essays about how their fave is underrated or misunderstood. No, babe, they're just not serving what you think they're serving. It's okay to admit your bias isn't a vocal powerhouse. Not every idol needs to be. Just stop pretending like they're redefining music when they're barely scraping by with the same tired delivery. Let's be real for once. It's not really surprising that K-pop stans care more about idol scandals more than their actual careers. Like, explain to me why a dating rumor will trend for days, but the group's latest album is flopping. Seriously, the priorities are messed up. We're out here trying to enjoy good music, but instead, fans are losing their minds over a rumor. Meanwhile, the group just dropped a fire album and crickets. Where's the love for the actual craft? The music should matter, right? But nope, as soon as there's some juicy gossip, whether it's about someone's love life, a backstage drama, or some shady scandal, that's all anyone wants to talk about. I swear, it's like the second something controversial drops, the whole world forgets the group just delivered a banger. I've seen it time and time again. An idol's talent and group's success get buried under a pile of speculation and drama. Why focus on a chart-topping hit when there's so much gossip to chew on? You've got fans obsessed with every detail of an idol's personal life, and guess what? The music gets pushed to the back burner. If stans actually spent the energy they put into speculating and attacking on supporting the actual music and the talent, maybe these groups could get the recognition they deserve. But no, it's just drama after drama. That's the reality, and it's exhausting. Being successful in K-pop doesn't always have anything to do with talent. Success in this industry is about fitting into the exact mold that the industry has already decided for you, not about how well you can sing or dance. Sure, talent is nice. It's a bonus. But at the end of the day, it's not the thing that's going to get you the fame or recognition you deserve. Talent will only get you so far if you don't have the right look, the right image, and the right personality to go along with it. There's a certain role they want you to play, and if you don't fit into that, no matter how skilled you are, you're not going to make it. The sad truth is, there are so many idols out there who are technically amazing, who can sing circles around the so-called top idols, who can dance with more precision and fluidity. But they'll never get the same attention because they don't fit the prepackaged ideal that the fans have been conditioned to worship. It's all about knowing how to play the game. You've got to be able to market yourself, build a fan base, and cultivate an image that fits perfectly into the cookie-cutter world of K-pop. And guess what? That's not always the most talented person, it's the one who knows how to sell themselves. We've all seen those idols who can barely hit a note live without auto-tune, or who dance with stiff movements that don't match the energy of the song. But somehow, these are the idols getting the biggest deals and the loudest cheers. Why is that? Because they've figured out how to manipulate the system. They've mastered the art of creating the perfect idol image that fans eat up, no matter the lack of actual skill. They know how to make the fans feel connected to them, how to get people invested in their story, and how to give the fans exactly what they want, even if what they want isn't necessarily talent. The frustrating part is watching someone who's genuinely talented get passed over for someone who can barely hold a note but has mastered the game of image and perception. It's disheartening to see how the industry prioritizes a carefully crafted personality or image over raw skill. The truth is, success in K-pop is a lot more about fitting into the mold than standing out with real skills. Talent is important, sure, but if you can't play the game, you're just not going to make it, no matter how talented you are. It's about having the right look, the right attitude, and knowing exactly how to appeal to the masses. It's frustrating to watch the best of the best get ignored, while people who can barely deliver the basics get all the attention. But that's the reality of the K-pop industry. Dance breaks are becoming the go-to excuse for when a song has no bridge, and honestly, it's starting to get on my nerves. Instead of crafting a proper musical transition to elevate the song, companies throw in some random hip-thrusting moment, slap on a bass drop, and hope we don't notice how hollow the structure feels. It's lazy and it's frustrating, especially when the song already sounds good and is screaming for a solid bridge to tie everything together. A good bridge can transform a song, giving it depth and emotion. It's where the magic happens, where the energy shifts and builds into that explosive final chorus. But instead, we get a dance break that feels like an afterthought. And let's be real, if you're going to replace a bridge with a dance break, it better be iconic. I'm talking about choreography and instrumentals so legendary they become the moment everyone remembers. Not some basic two-step to a generic beat. Sometimes, dance breaks work when there's no bridge, but that's rare. Most of the time, they feel like filler, like the producers just gave up halfway through. K-pop is capable of so much more than this lazy trend. Give us bridges that hit emotionally. Give us dance breaks that feel intentional. Stop treating us like we won't notice the difference because we absolutely do. Do better, please. Let's get something straight. Just because an idol is acting unprofessional doesn't mean they're some rebel fighting for their rights. No, it's not breaking boundaries. It's just plain unprofessional behavior disguised as some deep, meaningful protest. There's a difference between standing up for yourself and just being a brat. Sure, the K-pop industry can be harsh and unfair, but that doesn't mean every outburst or tantrum is a victory for justice. It's not rebellion to lash out or ignore your responsibilities. If you're an idol, your job is to perform, entertain, and show up for your fans. If you're not doing that, you're not a trailblazer. You're just someone acting out because the world didn't give you everything on a silver platter. Let's stop pretending like every time an idol throws a fit, they're changing the game. Being a professional means knowing how to handle tough situations with grace and maturity. So no, being unprofessional is not some heroic act of defiance. It's just an embarrassing moment that makes everyone question your commitment. If you want the real change, fight for it, do it right, and legal, not as an independent mess. The same fans who complain about idols having no individuality are the ones dragging the idols who actually try to stand out. You want authenticity and realness, but when an idol shows any ounce of being different, suddenly it's cringy or try hard. Which is it, people? You can't demand these idols to be real and unique, and then trash them the second they start acting like themselves. It's honestly wild. Idol groups have been under so much pressure to be picture-perfect and cookie-cutter, and then when someone dares to break the mold, they get dragged for being too much or too weird. So now, individuality is only cool as long as it fits your narrow idea of what's acceptable. It's frustrating, and it makes zero sense. Let them be weird. Let them stand out. If you say you want them to be authentic, then support them when they actually are. This whole "I want authenticity, but only if it's in a way I like" thing is just straight up hypocritical. If you want more diversity and uniqueness in K-pop, stop punishing the idols who are actually trying to bring it. It's tiring, it's unfair, and it's time for fans to stop policing how idols express themselves. Once again, I am begging, please let 2025 be a decent year for K-pop. Let's leave the disaster that was 2024 in the past and actually change for the better. Can we stop jumping to conclusions every time a scandal breaks out? Like, chill for 5 minutes, wait for the facts, and when the truth finally comes out, how about not attacking the victims while supporting the perpetrators? Groundbreaking, I know. Let's tone down the fan wars, speculation, and obsession with idols' personal lives. What happened to focusing on the actual music, performances, and stage presence? Isn't that why we're all here in the first place? Sure, if drama happens, we're all gonna talk about it. We're human, but let's at least try using our brains and thinking critically. Thanks so much for watching, Rosaries. Let me know what you think in the comments because I want to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss more content. Let's make this year less embarrassing, okay? See you next time, and bye.